Overdrive this week, the Range Rover Sport, now assembled in India, rose with luxury and power. The Aston Martin Vantage stuns with beauty and brawn, and the Mercedes GLS 450D AMG line redefines diesel sophistication.
Hello and welcome to Overdrive. I am Soni Dutt. Let me start by wishing you all a very happy Independence Day. Let's start the show with a Range Rover Sport that is now assembled in India. It's a perfect blend of luxury and sporty performance, and of course it is now powered by a 3-litre straight-six diesel engine. Let's know more about it.
This is the new Range Rover Sport. It's assembled in India. And let's get one thing out of the way. That Sport moniker, it's not in the same brigade as the RSQ8 or the Porsche Cayenne. No. This is Range Rover's way of telling you that this is the sportier twin of the full-fat Range Rover. This is more compact, a bit more aggressive, but not as aggressive as the Germans that I just mentioned. Yes, I did mention assembled in India. It feels almost as surreal as trying to look for a Yorkshire pudding in Karol Bagh and finding it. But it's still got all the trappings of British indulgence, but in a more approachable, a more accessible package. And let's keep the Evoque out of the picture. Compact in Range Rover terms means that it's still over 5 meters long, it still weighs over 2 tons. This one is under 3 tons though, about 2.5 tons, which is still featherweight by Range Rover standards. And under that really tall bonnet is the Ingenium straight-six 3-litre diesel. It's got 350 PS of power, and because it's a turbo diesel, 700 Newton meters of torque. 700. Contrary to what you would expect, it doesn't move as slowly as a government file on a Friday evening. It does have the go. Land Rover claims 5.8 seconds 0 to 100. Our test, even in these wet conditions, 6.5 seconds with all the tires squealing. So yes, there is drama, there is a lot of pace, and you will love it. The straight-six layout here pays dividends. Silky refinement, effortless grunt, and a quiet murmur at cruising speeds that makes petrol heads reconsider their love for petrol. But at the same time, it knows that on Indian conditions, you might have to suddenly slow down while having all that fun, because there could be plenty of potholes on the way. Which is why you do get air suspension, which even in its dynamic setting still offers a very pliant ride. So even if you were to suddenly come to a halt like I did while having fun, there's still enough give in the suspension to protect your spinal cord. That said, the torque vectoring by braking does help in the corners. It helps it maintain composure, because otherwise, without those electronic aids, it's very easy to lose control of this big mammoth. Direction changes, despite all that weight, feel nice and quick. And the well-tuned steering definitely has a big role to play in that. It's got a nice heft to it. Even in the comfort setting, it still has a nice heft to it, but it never feels like a gym workout. Inside, the cabin is quintessentially Range Rover. The leather seats feel appropriately lavish, especially with their heating, ventilation and massage capabilities. Ideal when you are stuck in traffic, pondering over your stock market choices. The interior detailing, the dual-tone headlining, that massive 13.3-inch curved PV Pro touchscreen, it all reiterates the luxury without getting all liberous on you. This should have added grab handles so that ingress and egress would have been easier despite the tall floor of this car. But the visibility all around is excellent. Like I said, you get a nice commanding view of the road. And once you're in the cabin, you appreciate the minimalist design. Something that we love with the full-fat Range Rover, that continues with the Sport as well. I even like how subtly curved this infotainment is. Adds a touch of sophistication. The materials, as you would expect, are amazing. Be it the materials on top, in the not-so-common touch points, or even these fabric panels in the door, they all feel top-notch and expensive. Standout features, the 3D surround camera, the adaptive cruise control, steering assist, they all reduce city chaos, while the 22-inch wheels and dynamic exterior package give it the street cred in abundance.
At the back, you do get a bit of a recline function so that you can nicely relax. Knee room is not too bad. This is the seat completely extended backward, and despite that, the knee room is not too bad at all. Headroom is also quite good. You get this little spine in between for a glass roof, but it adds that airy feel, adds a bit of robustness to the design, and I quite like it. You get AC vents on your head. That's not something that I'm a big fan of. I would have preferred them to be in the B pillar, because after a hot day at work, if you're coming in here and you have the air blowing on your head, it can just end up giving you a headache. So that's not something that I'm a big fan of. Now, foot space is quite good, and I think a PlayStation 5 can easily fit in there. Why am I referring to that? Well, because I get two screens. They only get HDMI inputs, so I can easily add a PlayStation 5, make my phone give it some internet, and then enjoy all the audio without any chaos from the outside, because these are noise cancelling headphones.
From an Indian perspective, its 900mm wading depth is reassuring. Consider our annual monsoon adventures. The standard inclusion of 4-zone climate control with cabin air purification pro feels less like luxury and more like survival essential, especially if you are from Delhi. Practicalities like gesture tailgate operation and powered rear seats underline that you are indeed buying convenience alongside prestige. The Range Rover Sport elegantly marries comfort and capability with just enough sportiness to remind you it's not just another bulky luxo-barge.
And made in India, perhaps that's the ultimate cherry on what is a very British cake, because nothing says Empire Strikes Back like assembling one of these crown jewels in our own backyard.
Well, it's time to head into our next break, but don't go anywhere, because on the other side we have the very gorgeous Aston Martin Vantage, and it's also very formidable. Stay with us, you're watching Overdrive.